If you're planning to buy a property in 2022,
then we've got 5 really helpful tips to help you with that process.
I'm Andrew Sharp, the Sales and Lettings Director here at Shaw Sales and Lettings.
And I'm Lauren Goodyear and I'm the Sales Valuer here.
Tip number 1, decide on your non-negotiables. So what are your non-negotiables? These are the things that when you're viewing properties or deciding on your next home that you're not prepared to compromise on. So if you need 3 bedrooms or you need a certain school catchment, they're your non-negotiables, the absolute needs. Separate to your non-negotiables, need to have your wants. So you'd want to have a garage or a double garage, but you'd happily have just off-road parking if you had space for a shed in the garden. So it's really, really important as a buyer, you decide on what your non-negotiables are, and that will help eliminate some of the properties. Now, of course, you might need to understand what those are by viewing properties, but as an absolute minimum, before you go out and view properties, sit down and decide what your non-negotiables are, and that will really help speed up your search.
Tip number 2 is to get your finances ready. It's really important to decide whether you're purchasing with mortgage or cash, and particularly with the cash, how that's actually going to be made up. Whether that's cash that's already in the bank, it's in your savings, or whether that's cash that's coming potentially from a sale of a property. With your mortgage, you need to make the decision whether you're going to speak to just your bank to see what rates they could offer you, or whether perhaps you're going to go to a mortgage advisor who can scour a larger range of the market to get you the best price. If you see a property that you like and you wish to put an offer forward, you may well be then asked for your proof of funds. These 2 parts will want to make that up. That will be for your proof of your deposit and also for your agreement in principle or your cash funds. So it's really important that you have those ready at the point of offer when you've made your decision on which is the right property for you.
Tip number 3, act quickly. In the current climate, properties are coming to market and selling very, very quickly. So when you see a property come online, whether that's Rightmove or Zoopla or with an agent, make a decision to go and view that property quickly. The chances are there will be multiple people interested in the property, multiple buyers. And if you view the property and you decide it's for you, decide whether you want to make an offer on that property as soon as you can. Don't leave it too long. The chances are there will be multiple buyers on the property and you'll then end up in a bidding war competing with those buyers. So our tip number 3, as a buyer in the current climate, is to act and decide quickly.
Tip number 4 is to get yourself ready. You've seen the dream property, you've put an offer forward and it's been accepted. So what is the agent going to expect from you now? Simply this will be your proof of ID, your proof of residency, your proof of funds and also your solicitors. For your proof of funds, this could be your agreement in principle, it could be your cash funds in way of savings or a mixture of the 2. With your solicitors, it's always worth having a shop around to see who can be the most competitive on the price. All they'll need for this is the address of the property you're looking to purchase and the purchase price based on the offer that you've put forward.
Tip number 5, get yourself into position. In this fast-paced market of 2022, it is really tough for buyers. When your dream home comes on the market, you need to make sure that you are in a position to act. So if you have a property to sell, make sure you're on the market and make sure you have offers on that property to avoid missing out on your dream home. If you're not on the market at the moment and you're thinking of buying in 2022, get some agents out and decide on your marketing and your pricing strategy. If you're in rented accommodation, understand the terms of your agreement and make sure you follow all the tips above to get yourself in the best position.
So let's take a recap on our top 5 tips.
Tip number 1, decide on your non-negotiables.
Tip number 2, have your finances in place.
Tip number 3, act quickly.
Tip number 4, have your paperwork and your solicitors to hand.
And tip number 5, get in position.
We hope you found our top 5 tips for buying in 2022 helpful.
If you'd like to talk to either myself or Lauren about buying in 2022, you can get in touch on 01283 537 120 or in any of the links provided below.